I think this is going to be a fun topic because I feel like there are a lot of different things in terms of, here's my thing, Tristan. Perspective is everything. So what I think my team may need may be totally different from what another team needs, or what they think that their team needs, whatever it is, or what they may even disagree with what I think. At the end of the day, perspective is everything. My perspective is it's important for to look at everybody's perspective. My perspective is look at everybody's perspective and just see, okay, where's everybody coming from? And this is one of my favorite topics in terms of off-season needs, because I think, everybody has a different perspective. What's a bigger need? What's not a bigger need? What can wait? What can't wait? This is one of those things that it can probably vary in some degrees. So we're going to start with the Packers here. Can you kind of just and we'll get into a later episode of what we feel like would be the best fits, and if you have those now, great. If not, I do. But at the end of the day, we need to start. This is where we start, just by stating needs. Tristan, what are the greatest offseason needs for the Green Bay Packers heading into 2021?
Well, out of bitterness, the first thing Green Bay needs to find is Kevin King's replacement. We already have Mike Pettine's replacement, defensive coordinator. They hired Joe Barry, who is the assistant head coach of the Rams and the linebackers coach of the Rams, who has a terrible track record, similar to the track record Matt LaFleur brought into Green Bay when he was hired. So I'm not jumping to conclusions about that hire yet. Maybe they'll get along well and they'll work, but I doubt they're going to have a 9th or better overall defense next year. Kevin King's replacement, this is going to be interesting. I don't think he's staying with the team. If Kevin King stays with the team, they're still going to bring somebody in to, I think, challenge him for his job and ultimately replace him. There's rumors going around. Richard Sherman wants to play for Green Bay for a relatively cheap price, which would be amazing. Best cornerback duo in the league, easily, with him and Jair Alexander.
Ooh, he's got some age to him now, my man. He's got some tread on the tires.
He does have some age, but a very, very considerable upgrade over Kevin King.
Okay.
Okay. But taking that out of the picture, I think Green Bay's number one need this offseason has to either be inside linebacker or interior defensive line. It continues to be a weakness. The Super Bowl proved how important good middle linebackers are. Devin White was outstanding in that game. Very fast, physical, smart inside linebacker who flies to the sidelines, makes solo tackles, makes it look easy, and can cover wide receivers. He broke up numerous passes. Inside linebacker, the Green Bay should have drafted Patrick Queen last year in the first round, which is what I was hoping they would do, but that still remains a hole in our defense. I thought Oren Burks was going to be the answer at inside linebacker. That hasn't really worked out. He's been a decent special teams contributor at best. Kamal Martin out of Minnesota. He's developing, but he's not going to be anything of that level. So I think defensive line, they did sign Damon Snacks Harrison, who didn't play a single snap after being signed.
True, but you got to realize the man did spend some time on the Seahawks practice squad for what it's worth.
He did, but still, you have Snacks Harrison on the bench, and your starting interior defensive lineman next to Kenny Clark gets hurt. I believe it was Dean Lowry, and they don't even put in Harrison then. They put in some other guy who didn't do very well. Snacks Harrison is an impressive player. He can make things happen. He should have gotten an opportunity. It wouldn't have changed anything, I don't think, but I was really surprised they didn't let him play. A lot of people want to argue that wide receiver is still a need for Green Bay. I'm still on that boat, not as much as I was last year, seeing what Aaron could do with what he had. Obviously, having the best wide receiver in the NFL helps, or one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, Devontae Adams. Having a Pro Bowl running back in Aaron Jones, and having 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, Bakhtiari and the other one that was voted in, Corey Linsley, the center, I think. Mm-hmm. So there's really no excuse for him to want more weapons. I could see the argument being made. We still have Devin Funchess. He did opt out last year, but he's going to play for Green Bay this next year. Mm-hmm. So we'll have Funchess at probably a number 2 or 3 spot. But there's going to be some surprising cuts I think Packers fans won't really like. I think Alan Lazard is one of them. I think Aaron Jones is one of them. Not cuts, but people they're going to let walk. If Green Bay Packers had to choose between Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Alan Lazard. I think they're keeping Marquez Valdez-Scantling. That would be, in my opinion, the smartest thing for them to do. Keep Marquez, keep Funchess. Lazard's good, but they're going to get rid of Equinemius St. Brown, too. Mm-hmm. So one of those guys is going to go. But wide receiver, I could see being a later round draft pick, maybe middle, third round, maybe fourth round. Historically, that's where Green Bay has found pretty good receivers, including Adams and Jennings and Driver and Nelson. But, yeah, I think number one offseason needs interior defense, something to beef up the front seven, interior, a middle linebacker, whether it's free agency. I don't think bringing in a rookie will be a big impact for that defense. I think they should probably go out and sign somebody. Yeah, interior defensive line, middle linebacker are my two biggest needs. Maybe a corner. Our safeties are set. One of the corners is set. I think the offense is fine where it's at, especially with the addition of Funchess next year. I think the offense will be okay. Running back situation will be a little questionable because Aaron Jones probably won't be back. But I'm pretty confident in A.J. Dillon and Jamal Williams. I think they'll be fine. And we still have Dexter Williams. He'll get promoted to the active roster. So I don't think they're going to do much on offense in the draft. Maybe some later round picks. But, yeah, interior defense I think needs to be Green Bay's number one priority.
Just real quick for me so I have it. Could you just name their top offseason needs, whether it's the draft or free agency, 1 through 5 real quick, just off the top of your head?
Number one, I think middle linebacker. Number 2, second round, I think interior defensive lineman of some sort. Mm-hmm. Number 3, I would go third round, I would go wide receiver, just to bring one in that's decent. Number 4, probably another linebacker, just in case one doesn't work out or one gets hurt. Number 5, you might want to think about another running back. If Jones leaves, needs more depth. If not, probably more interior defensive line. And then after that, after those picks, I think they really need to beef up their special teams somehow. They need to sign a lot of cheap players who have been proven good on special. I don't know how to fix Green Bay special teams. They've been bad for so many years.
I honestly think that's kind of one of those, and the Vikings have had, like, there's a thing I thought about special teams. You can have great players, but coaches make all the difference. So I think, and the Vikings actually have a lot of great special teams players, but they, there was just, I think it was Marlon Maloof was the Vikings special teams coordinator off the top of my head. But at the end of the day, he did not get it done, and it was really tough for them to get moving. So because of Maloof's his leadership, but they have the players. That's the thing that you have to really realize here. They definitely have the players. So, and I think could be the same for the Packers. You guys definitely have a lot of players that could definitely get it done. Yep, it was Marlon Maloof, but it all comes down to how they use them. I'm sorry, continue though.
Oh, I don't know. They just need to. I know they got rid of their special teams coach the same day they let go of Mike Pettin, and they promoted an assistant coach, a special teams coach, I believe Green Bay did.